So, I haven't done a video for a while. I don't know, man. I just felt shitty. Like mentally and physically felt fucking shitty. Didn't want to do a video, a real serious one. I fuck around, once in a while. But I wanted to talk about a story because, we get to hear, a lot of stories from guys with different cultural backgrounds and shit like that. And I was thinking, I grew up in Los Angeles in the 60s and the 70s. And it was a really weird, it almost like a lot like today, like all times in all men's lives. It was very tumultuous. At night, all we had was a little black and white TV. My parents, my brother and myself would watch TV, and we watched the Vietnam War, and what they had at the bottom corner was this like body count thing. That's kind of what I remember growing up with. Like the body count. We got them today more than they got us. So, my friend's brother's coming home with fucking PTSD, swatting at imaginary bugs. Yeah, worth it. Good. Anyway, that's kind of what I grew up on. I don't know. I guess I had a red pill when I was a kid that just never figured out about women. But I'm thinking about a story in particular with a friend of mine named Pete Hernandez when I was a kid. I didn't go to a regular high school like you guys did. I went to in California back then, they had what they called, what the fuck was it called? God damn. They call it alternative education today. Back then they used to call it continuation. Like, instead of dropping out of high school or just getting outright expelled, they allowed you to go to this special school. And it was this fucking bizarre place, man. It was like this horseshoe of trailers. Like caravans you go in the UK. And, they each had a special teacher. And these teachers were fucking retarded. Anyway, so I had this friend named Pete, and I remember they had a every year in Hollywood, they still have it today, it's called the Santa Claus Lane Parade. And Pete says, look, man, you want to go down and see that fucking thing? I'm like, yeah, man, I always watch that shit on Channel 9 in Hollywood. And I'm like, yeah, all right, go see that. And he goes like, hey, man, I got a pint of, I think it was Jack Daniels. And we had a couple of Cokes and fucking just, drank the whole thing down at once. We climbed up the back ladder of a building in Hollywood. And I looked at it, I think it was like 20 years later when you could first get information on shit. Because I just wanted to see how high it was. Me and this friend, we each drank a half a pint of whatever the fuck it is, 86 proof. And we climbed up the back of this building, and we had bottles of Coke with us, but we didn't drink the Coke, because, that dilutes it. So, there was a guy named, he called himself the mayor of Hollywood, and, he was hilarious. Dude was fucking hilarious. I think it was like Johnny Welsh. I got that trash truck. How cool is that, eh? Look at that there. Some guy pushing buttons. Anyway, so we climbed to the top of this building, and this is it's like the beginning of December in 1976. So we climbed to the top of this building, and we were fucking drunk as shit. And we made our way out to the front of the building, and sat out there right at the edge and looked over the edge of it. There was no precipice. That was like it. We were at the edge of the building. And, when the mayor of Hollywood came down the street, the big fucking news was somebody threw something at him. I don't know, man. Both me and Pete had something that was thrown at him, and it blew up. One of them blew up on the float that he was on, and it was all on the news and shit like that. And I think I got home that night, it was about 4 in the morning, probably roughly 4. And my parents were like, "Where have you been?" I'm like, "I went with Pete. We were down at the Hollywood Lane Parade." And they like, "You didn't do anything fucked up?" I'm like, "No, not me." And, it wasn't until the next day that I actually saw that. But, yeah, I mean, those are the kinds of things that we had before video games. I just wanted to throw that out there.